Okay, so here we are doing layer 4, owl in a snowstorm. So we've sort of more or less know where everything is now, and we've built up. And in the last one, I remember getting this blue background just like that. So now we just have to define more and more. This tree needs more texture and needs a little more width here. Just everything that we look at needs to be developed, that's all. And that's my goal today, just developing it. Okay, so I'm gonna dip my brush in some water and get it ready. Since this is the main tree, let's give that some more texture a little bit. And then the ultimate thing is the snow on top of that, but we're not ready for that detail. I just want to work on the trunk of these trees a little bit more and define them. So let's take a little bit of brown in the black. Let's see what that looks like here, because there was some brown that's sort of mixed in with the black. Let's just splotch it on, even up here a little bit, and there, and some around here. Big chunk of it there. I'm going to take a little bit of white to lighten it up a little bit. Since I have a little bit of light on the brush, where can I put light things? Once it dries, it'll dry a little bit darker, but definitely out here too. So I'm trying to color a little bit some of these areas. That have a little bit of brown. And this has some brown also. Okay, a little more. Sometimes you put it on and it sinks in a little bit and gets darker. And later with a smaller brush, I will definitely we're just adding a little bit of color, and all right, let's work on some of these negative areas and give it some color. Now, I noticed some of the negative areas have some strong and then some weak gray blue. It is a bluish gray, definitely. And let's mix up a batch with a lot of white also. And let's see what color we have. Okay, that's good. So it seems to be a lot here, and then a little bit down there. Up here it's brighter, and then there's a nice little chunk. Bingo, right there. All right, this has very strong light. So is this right here. We're just developing, as you can see. This is just another layer. And there's, I would say, a couple more layers. There's a lot of definite layers of color here coming around. A nice big circle here. And just various things here. I'll never imitate it exactly, but okay. All right, that's getting more colors now. We got some blue and brown mixed in, and eventually I'll use a smaller brush than this one to more define all the activity going on here. All right. I need to work on that a little bit more. Yep. So what about down here? Well, there's some activity that's fairly bright. Since my brush has lost a lot of the paint, I can do a softer. So right it's just a glob of snow right there. So we're, all right, I want to put some here, there, just activity. Yep. There's definitely a lot happening in each place. Sometimes I poke it, push it, whatever. The little snowdrops that are very strong, that comes in at the end. That would be the last session where I just use a small brush and put in all these tiny little drops here. So what do I want to do now? Let's do a little bit along the owl. He gets more stuff going on here. Yep. So we've been using just the blue so far, and we used some little brown before. We're just introducing colors. Here's just, I used the corner of it. Yep. When it dries a little darker, which is okay. All right, let me take a break from the blue-white. All right, so I've just dumped a new brush in here, smaller brush, a little more detail. So let me start with some dark, and I want to fatten up this tree here, for example. And I want to give it some texture also. So, for example, this one here, so what I'm doing is the edge of the tree has bark and it's rough, so I sort of want to make it a little bit rough, bearing in mind that I may want to put a little bit of a film, a glaze on top of that whole tree to soften it and soften the edges. So this has given me challenges because of all the different steps I'm going to have to take to get the effect I want, which is good. It's all benefits you and learning. So we've roughed it up a bit. Let's see, let me do a little bit more here. This tree does get a little bit of a little bit of a bump like that. All right, we're texturing it up. Some of that texture is really not just brown, it's other things that are giving it texture. Yeah, that's it. Splashes of a few different colors. Yeah, mix and match. All right. Yeah, so we're having activity. It's never going to be the same, but it'll be my little version of whatever. And it'll be close enough. So, what do I want to do before we end this session here? That's good. A little more brown. Let's see. Here. So what I want to do, let's let me see if I can. I'll start with dark and then go light. Let me rest my hand. I want the owl to be facing me directly. Even though his body looks like it's that way, his head, which is even a bit wider, is like that. Now I want to take some, almost, there's a little bit of blue, but it's mainly white. And let me go around here. Give him more texture. The detail comes later. This is not the detail brush. This is just to do stuff here. Okay. Okay, so I'm just taking the very tip and it's sort of splayed out, and so I'm giving him some interesting looks. Just to develop the owl a little bit. Now, yeah. Let's see if I can come up with that. There's a little bit of yellow, a little bit. Now I want to use also a touch of clear, and I'm just trying to find a light yellow. Let's see. Just to well, I have way too much paint on. And this isn't particularly the color ultimately, and it'll dry a little bit darker. We're just building a little bit the owl, that's all. I know Natalie wants me to put the ears on, but that's later on. That's not yet. All right, so there's yellow and tan also. Yeah, that's getting closer. And let me retire that brush. Let's try this one. That one I know, but let's see. I want to just take a little bit of dark, because around the yellow, his eyes are pretty far apart. Lower down. He's got a little nose there. Okay, that's a beginning of a face. More to be developed. For example, we want to do this here. That comes just about out. Okay. What else can I do before we wrap it up? There's a bit of yellow right down here. Well, I know it has a little bit of other colors, but anyhow. All right. right above the eye, it gets tan there. And around here also. A little color change. This is like detail stuff. This isn't really part of this layer, but I got into it a little bit. So what are we gonna do? Okay, to be continued. I think for now, why don't we just say that's enough, and we have a few more layers, definitely. Thanks for watching today, and don't get carried away with the face of the owl, because you just want to keep it really light right now. And builds slowly. How's that sound? Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.
Here. See, we're going to get some more brown here. It's a brownie and a yellow, you know. At least I got a little bit of yellow down here. This just tells me there's more to add. Again, these are markers, you know. But this is cool here. I just want to give it some color, you know. And it all along here gets more. That branch is going to be really nicely detailed, right?
Yes, I love the
And a little bit, we got some of this color here. Stick a little more here and there. I better not do any more because...
I'm filming it.
Oh, you're filming it? You lie, you rascal. Okay. He'll get some more brown around the eyes here, a little more, you know. So I put one color, yellow, and then I put another color, tan. And then I have to use a very fine brush to do, there's a circle around those eyes, you know, to make them really penetrate. Do you see a little black circle?
I do, yeah.
It's like makeup. A woman puts a very thin layer of makeup,
Yep.
and the eyes will pop out. But that's later. Okay, we're done.